We're still just about in touching distance with third place, but we need a win today in our last league game before the split. And we've also got the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. Yes, hello, welcome back into Live Name Sports YouTube channel here for the Killie Boys on Football Manager 21. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button for more Football Manager content at the moment and hopefully in the future, sports games in general. Last time out, we had two fairly successful wins. One of those was the win against Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup quarter final, and then we beat Aberdeen 3-1, and I thought, hey, we've returned to form. Here we go. We are fantastic. I was slightly wrong. Motherwell then beat us 2-1 in the next game. Our defence played fairly well, but no one else really did. Jamie Hamilton scoring the goal for us, one of our new centre-back signings. Losing the game 2-1 was not a good result. We then did, however, beat Ayr, which is fairly easy to do for any Ayr fans out there. You know how much I like slagging you off. 2-0 victory, Jens Kastrup and Dylan Tate scoring the goals for us. We then travelled to Ibrox where we lost 4-1. I actually was lulled into a false sense of security. Elliot Scott scored the first goal after 24 minutes, but they scored 4 goals to win that game 4-1, including one from Timothy Weah, who very interestingly used to play for Celtic in real life. So, you know, you don't often see Celtic players filling for Rangers and Rangers for Celtic, etc. But we have here, and in the most recent game, which was actually a couple of weeks ago now in game time because we've had an international break, was a 0-0 draw against Hearts. Again, nobody played particularly well in that one. So that leads us into this game against St Mirren in the league and Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final. The league table looks like this. We're in 5th place, but we're actually exactly equal with Hibs. I'm not quite sure how it is. They're above us probably by goals scored or least goals conceded or something like that. But we are only 6 points behind Hearts, and though we drew with them last time out, it shows we're probably fairly on par with them, and we'd like to try and get that 3rd place again. 1st and 2nd, certainly far too far away. Celtic and Rangers have got that. I'm not sure in what order it's going to be this season because it's very close. But yeah, 5th position for us at the moment. Top 6 is secure. And hopefully with our win against St Mirren today, we might actually, unfortunately for St Mirren, put them out of the top 6 if Motherwell do end up beating Celtic somehow. So here is the team for the game against St Mirren here in the Scottish Premiership. Robbie Much is going to be out for this game. He has been returning from injury. He got injured a few weeks ago and he is returning back. Apparently full fitness tomorrow, unfortunately for him. So Peacock Farrell gets his game at goalkeeper again for us. At the back, we're going to play Hamilton and Spence, the new centre-back partnership. You see, there's a kind of, I was going to say relationship, but it's not quite a relationship. They've played poorly. That's not how you say words. They've played fairly poorly when they've been paired together and not a good partnership in their selected roles apparently, but we're going to stick with it and see if we can do it because you can see they're 3.5 star rated and 23 I think Spence is and 19 for Hamilton, so very young. Hopefully they can develop together as our centre back partnership. Logan going to play on the right hand side and Kokavas on the left. I feel sorry for Regan Riley, who's actually very, very good, but because he's so versatile and can play across everywhere, I like having him on the bench so I can bring him on somewhere where I need him. In the middle we'll go with Makarinitis and Kastrup's kind of what I see as our first choice central midfield partnership. Richards on the right, Tate in behind the striker, and Mochry's going to play on the left hand side today. You can just see in terms of statistics, you know, his actual ratings, he's a better player than Botley, so surely he's going to perform at some point. He hasn't really for us so far this season with a 6.6 average rating, but hopefully he can do something here. We've got Botley and Kilty on the bench if we need to change that. And I'm going to stick with Elliot Scott up front as well because Brophy's not really scored. Elliot Scott scored against Rangers a couple of games ago, so see if he can do it again here. Let's get into this game. So here we are, a game kicks off against St Mirren and they're playing 4-4-2, which they seem to have played the last couple of times against us, which I prefer to the 4-3-3 they used to play a lot and we were normally outnumbered in midfield. First highlight of the game here, and it's a throw in from St Mirren. And Kokavas heads it clear and Richards plays it back to Makarinitis, and we'll see if we can recycle this play. Castro with the ball now and into Tate, who's been playing, I've been very impressed since we signed Tate playing in that attacking midfield role. Scott's got to hear he has a shot and it's saved by Coleman. throw in for Kokavas just before half time here. Not any highlights at all in this first half, really. Tate with the ball, and it's tipped over by Coleman. You've seen all the highlights there's not been a lot at all. Let's see if we can score from this corner. Kokavas swings it in. It's headed clear. What's going to go on here? Nothing at all. We've reached half time, and that was one of the most boring first halves. Not the most boring we've had, because remember, we had a half with no highlights before, but one of the most boring halves of football I think we've ever seen. Let's see if the second half can bring something different, and if it doesn't soon, we'll be making some changes. And indeed, an hour on the clock and nothing's happened, so we'll make some changes. Andre Woods can come on in midfield for Macrianitis, and Mokri, not been playing well, not the best signing I've ever made, even though it's just done on loan, thankfully. So Charles Bolly can come on and play on that left-hand side. He's got half an hour to do something, but there is a highlight here for St Mirren. The ball's cleared away by Spence. It looks like he'd signalled for offside, but they didn't call it, which is interesting. Richards gets the ball here in the middle of the park. What's he going to do with it? Out wide to Mokri. This is just before the changes have been made, and Mokri kicks it right off the St Mirren player. Kastrup into Tate. Tate finds Scott, back to Macrianitis, possibly his last touch of this game. Tate with it, through to Richards, and it's a goal, but it's been disallowed for offside. So close for us there, but not quite. How close was this? It looked very close indeed. No, there's a good half yard in that. A full body pass, and that's still 0-0. Changes are just going to happen now. Very interesting. I'm just seeing there in the dugout section, see that Motherwell are beating Celtic 2-0, which is very unusual indeed. Rodell Richards is going to go up front for us. I'll move Bolly to the right, and Greg Kilty can come on the left for the last 10 minutes. I'm going to say to the boys that we demand more. Come on, we demand more. We demand to get something here. And time ticks away to finish this game, and it's been a 0-0 boring draw. Fantastic. I'm glad you guys got to see that one. And you can see that's how the league table finishes before the split happens. So you can see Celtic 4 points behind Rangers after that loss to Motherwell. The draw from St Mirren there does mean that they miss out on the top 6 after Motherwell beat Celtic. Hearts there in 60 points, 8 points ahead of us, and Hibernian are 1 point behind us after they lost to Aberdeen. And our schedule has been drawn, and surprise, surprise, we finish with the Old Firm again. That seems to always happen for us. So we play Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final, and then we've got Hearts, Hibs, the 2 Edinburgh teams, and then Motherwell, Rangers and Celtic to finish the season. But let's go on with that Scottish Cup semi-final against Celtic, and we're going to have to play a lot better than we have been if we're actually going to win this game. So here we are, back for the Scottish Cup semi-final against Celtic at Hampden Park. And these are the 11 boys who'll be going out there to try and get that win. We've changed the team about slightly. Robbie Much gets back in goal. Now he's recovered from his injury at the back. We're going to go with Egan Riley alongside Spence because Hamilton is cup tied, having played for Hamilton already in this competition. Logan at right back, Kokavas at left back, Macrianitis alongside Kastrup in the middle, Richards on the right, Tate behind the striker, and we're going to play James Forrest against his old club on the left hand side today. He's not played for me recently, but his recent average rating has been quite good in the reserves, so hopefully he can do something for us. And Brophy gets to start up front again after Elliot Scott's lacklustre past few performances. The bench is Peacock Farrell, Jordan Brown as a defensive cover, Burton and Hill as midfield cover, Sabic, Bolly and Scott as the kind of attacking position cover. Let's see if we can get to a Scottish Cup final. So here we go, the boys have stepped out at Hampden, and we'll see how we do against Celtic, who are, I suppose, on a bit of a bad run of form. They just lost their last game against Motherwell, but that could make them more dangerous to play against. Turnbull with a free kick, and it's just clipped the bar early on. Let's see if we can get a chance here. Been a fairly even game so far, not seeing any highlights though, and this is the first one we've seen since that free kick attempt. Poor pass, Spence doesn't get it, Traore comes away, can Much save it? As it went wide, he didn't have to. You can see the statistics, fairly even game. We've had a lot of the ball, but Celtic have had more of the chances. I say they've had more of the chances, but we haven't got to see any really, because we're now at half time and you've seen all the highlights in this game. Those 2 highlights, if you can call them highlights. We'll start the second half with the same players though, because we have not conceded a goal, but we have conceded a few chances, which is worrying. The ball's cleared away though. Can Brophy get to it, or is it going to let Bazoer get it free? He does indeed. Into Turnbull and back to Bazoer and out to McGregor. And there's a chance of an overlap here for Celtic, which they try to find, but they don't. Logan gets it. Let's not play about with the ball too much here. Much has the ball, finds Egan Riley and Spence. And can we get the ball up the field? They can indeed, towards Brophy, flicks it on to nobody, and Celtic come away with the ball here. Laird on the right, ball forward, intercepted by Spencer, but it finds Petty on the left, and Traore scores the goal in his 14th of the season. Of course he has. 1-0 to Celtic. No surprises there. Let's be honest, you could tell with this highlight it was going to eventually happen. The ball goes out to the left hand side and Logan forces him inside for some reason instead of down the line, and Traore gets past Egan Riley, and that's 1-0 Celtic. Another highlight here, Celtic on the ball with Traore coming forwards, find Christie and Petty, and the ball bounces about off a few people and eventually comes out as far as McGregor and Turnbull. And let's see what they do with the ball here as they recycle it. Christie finds Hickey on the left hand side, plays it forward to Petty. This is normally where we give away a foul, but the ball's instead played into Traore there, and though he looked like he might have been offside, it appears he was not. And it's 2-0 to Celtic. Two very quick goals for Traore here. The ball came back here to Hickey, and no, he wasn't offside. Just no one knows how to mark in this Kilmarnock team. And that's 2-0 to Celtic. And they've kind of turned this match round on its head after a fairly impressive first half performance, I thought, from us. So we're going to make some changes. We're going to go slightly more direct with our play. Playing attacking, we'll bring Charles Bolly on the left and Robbie Burton on as the playmaker. And let's see if we can do anything here. I'll do a little shout to say demand more of the entire team. And that appears to have done nothing because Celtic have the ball. Hickey has it here on the edge of the box, finds Turnbull and hits it, and it bounces off to McGregor. Challenge from Egan Riley, and it's a penalty kick. Of course it is. Turnbull hits the penalty and it's saved. That's not what I was expecting to see by Jordan Much. It's a corner kick which should result in nothing normally. McGregor swings it in and indeed it's headed away. And we've got the ball on the right hand side here. Cammy Logan just throws the ball to Celtic there, but we've got the ball now back at the back. Turnbull heads it clear. Rodell Richards could have won that, but he didn't. Instead, Logan gets it, finds Richards eventually, but the ball's kind of bouncing about slightly, and Kastrup plays it back to Spence, who tries a forward ball, intercepted, and this is going to be a chance for Celtic, it looks like. Latomba into Laird and Traore, who scored 2 already today, cuts in field, finds Guri, who looks like he's just come on, into Boguz, and the ball is out for a corner kick. That is a name I struggle to say, I must say. Boguz, that's not a name I'd have thought. I never have to say, that seems very strange, but the ball swung in there means nothing. And yes, I'll do as my assistant says, I'll bring on Hill to play on the right hand side instead of Richards, and we'll see if that does anything, but it looks like it's not going to do anything. Oh, surprise, surprise, and Celtic beat us 2-0 and they get to the Scottish Cup final. Some disappointment in this episode for us today. I mean, that I didn't want to say that. I just say I'm disappointed. Oh, he seems motivated. They all seem to. Oh, that's a poor team talk. And you can see Rangers have won the other Scottish Cup semi-final, which means it's an Old Firm final of the Scottish Cup, which means that 5 teams will get into Europe. So it could be quite a tasty end to the season if we catch up with Hearts slightly. Maybe we'll see if we can catch up with them. If not, it looks like it might be a battle between us and Hibs to see who gets into 4th, which in the end probably won't mean anything, but it's a battle nonetheless. We're kind of sitting there at a normal, top half of the table battling for Europe. We've not really had a huge amount of progression over the last couple of years. Obviously we finished second last year, now we've dropped back down. It feels a bit as if we're going backwards, but hopefully with some reinvestment in the club this summer, obviously the big signing we made as well in the January transfer window, who will come to us after he's finished this season with Hamilton, we might have something a little bit different for next year. I hope this season was going to be a step forward, but it looks like we've taken a step back. What I'll do for the next episode is I'll come back for the Rangers and Celtic game if there's still mathematical possibilities of us getting 3rd or something like that. If not, I might just come back at the end of the season, tell you how everything's gone, show you what we're going to do, and then we can do a kind of update before we move on to the next season. So if you are looking forward to that, then please do leave a like. It really does help out the channel. Subscribe if you've not already for more Football Manager 21 content. And until the next one, we'll see you then.